Yes, guys, welcome back to COSSY's Arsenal podcast. My name is COSSY. We are back with the Monday review. A lot to talk about. A lot to talk about today. The first thing, I have a very important one. Another important one, of course. Glen, welcome back to the show, bro.
Thank you very much for having me again. It's always fun to be here and
Yeah,
interact with the audience and interact football.
yeah, of course. Every Monday, don't forget. Every Monday, I have Glen on, and we always are here for you to discuss the latest around us. So we're gonna be discussing a couple of things, starting with the Newcastle performance. We shall talk about the takeover, talk about a little bit of Bissouma because the rumors are there, and then we shall also wrap up with the Villarreal game. So make sure you're in for it. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. Make sure you give us your thoughts. You make sure you are participating. I need to know what you guys think about these topics, and you could also be able to add to us on the knowledge we are going to be actually sharing. So Glenn, I need us to start with the Newcastle game because for me that was a turning point in our week, a big turning point of the week. What did you make of that game? I thought it was a very good performance. I thought Arsenal did whatever they had to do right. We got it spot on.
Yes, from the lineup, that is the kind of lineup I was expecting. I expected 100%. I didn't know Bellerin and Martinelli were going to start 100%. Wasn't sure about Ceballos and the other players. But Saka wasn't sure he was going to start at left back again. That was a surprise. I expected Cedric to start on that side. Lineup-wise, I was okay that Aubameyang started. I was hoping he gets a goal, which he did. Martinelli getting... it was a chance for every player to prove themselves, whether they want to play against Villarreal in the second leg. And I think some of them did. I think most of them did. We saw Gabriel and Luis. I was surprised Gabriel and Luis started together. I thought you'd see maybe a Gabriel holding Luis to be rested for the game, or Gabriel to be rested for the Europa League game. But I was okay. The lineup, Ryan as well started, which was very good. Did very well. We did something that we always ask for every day. Start the game quickly. What we asked for when you're doing the preview for Villarreal last week. Start the game quickly. Try and get a goal the first opening 10 minutes, and the opponent is under pressure. We did it very well this time round. Elneny is scoring again his first Premier League goal ever. He always scores bangers and stuff. I liked the build-up play. That is what I loved. Luis. That pass to Bellerin and that cross. It went down as an Aubameyang assist, which it wasn't really an assist. It was a missed kick. So opening the scoring that early, that was very, very good. I was very surprised Newcastle didn't turn up the rest of the half and the rest of the game, basically. I expected them to like pressures because I think they've drawn in Liverpool the last few weeks. They've drawn in Tottenham the last few weeks. They've beaten West Ham, I think, in the last 5 games as well. So I didn't expect them to be that blunt. And Wilson was back for them. Saint Maximin was starting. Almiron was starting. Richie was starting. So I kind of expected us to get a 2-1 win or a draw, a 1-1, depending on how we had approached the game. So I was very, very surprised that they didn't actually test us. So for the first half, I was okay with how it turned out. And second half, stay professional, try and get a goal. And yeah, I know we're going to discuss about the individual players, but I was very happy about how we performed, and a clean sheet as well.
Yeah, of course. And for me, the point in that game, I said it on match review, is the point in that game was the confidence. You needed to, get back to winning ways. We needed the confidence, and I think it did us a world of good. A very, very big 3 points in terms of boosting our confidence, because it really meant nothing on the table. The predicted lineups we made, we were disinterested. What we wanted is Arsenal to win this game. Go back to that, go back to that mentality. We can beat Villarreal. Do you think it's a very important game, a very important win again ahead of Villarreal? Do you think probably it's putting us back to winning ways?
Yeah, of course. Before a game like that, you don't want to. When was the last time we even won a game? Because I think we lost before the international break. We lost to Olympiacos. We drew with West Ham 3-3, and then we lost to Liverpool after the international break, and then I think we beat Slavia Prague after we beat Slavia Prague, but we drew with them at home. So we haven't had that many wins in the last 1 month, 2 months. So you don't want another defeat again before a big game, because the confidence will be shattered. And then you'll be like, you know what, the first team has lost. and the second team has lost as well. So that wouldn't have been a good thing. So you need a win. You don't, I don't think you need a win for Premier League terms, but yeah, to get back to the top 10, we needed a win. But you need a win for the confidence heading into that game, especially for someone like Aubameyang scoring a goal. That is very important for his confidence, because the moment you don't score for 3 or 4 games, your confidence is shattered. You won't try the obvious things like shooting a ball. You'll try and turn around to make sure you don't miss, stuff like that. So him scoring, seeing Martinelli play that well, obviously deserves a start. Getting a rest for the likes of Partey and Saka, very, very good. You definitely need a win before a big game.
Yeah, exactly. And everybody in the chat, I know many people, the first 10 people, first 20 people who watch, the live chat are people who are always here. You can bear me witness. I said the reason as to why we lost the Villarreal game was, we lacked the consistency, we lacked the confidence, we were not winning games. It was more of us, continuing a losing streak, continuing a losing run. But do you think? Look, I saw Martinelli playing so well, and we need to talk about Martinelli as a player. I think he's the first player we need to talk about today. Why do you think he doesn't get playing time, under Mikel? I think all the time he has been given time, all the time he's been given a chance, he's proven. He's this kind of player who gives his his all. This kind of player who everything he has, the attitude, the statistics, everything about him is just positive. Why is Martinelli not getting a chance? Probably, do you think it's so many people, so many players ahead of him, or do you think it's just Mikel trying to do the manager's role as manager?
I don't think Arteta could be that stupid. The word stupid, because he wants to remain as Arsenal coach. So you'll probably have to play your best player, and Martinelli is up there. I do think it's because one of the reasons is because Saka has been playing very well. He has to start. Pepe hasn't really been playing every day, but when he's this year 2021, he's played really well. I think Aubameyang, Lacazette. I know Aubameyang and Lacazette. For me, I don't want them to leave or anything like that. But I do know that having the both of them in the team affects other players, and that is the main reason. Because let's say if you only had Aubameyang up front, we'd obviously play Martinelli on the left. But since we always have Lacazette and Aubameyang, it is usually very hard to drop one of them and leave the other one playing, and then that leaves no spot for Martinelli. If it was back to last season and Saka was playing as a left back, then we'd definitely have another spot for Martinelli in the middle. But then again, Smith Rowe, also Odegaard coming to Arsenal, meaning Smith Rowe has to play again on the left. That's another player again ahead of Martinelli. So 3 or 4 players ahead of him. The formation that we play, maybe if you're playing I don't know, 2 strikers up front and then you have Martinelli on the left side, it'd fit. But the reason is Aubameyang and Lacazette playing. That's one of the reasons that why he doesn't play. But he has to play. He's a very good player. From the left, from the right, the taking on of players is what I want. We only have one player who does that. That's Tierney. Like taking on a player and just like passing them, like don't care who it is, whether it's Ashley Cole, whether it's Bridge, whether it's Cash at Aston Villa, it doesn't matter. You just try and get past them. I wish I could have a definite answer to that where he hasn't been playing. The first few months, I said it's because of injury. Coming back from a 1-year injury, don't want to risk him. Myself, I usually say don't want to risk these players. I'm one of those players that I'm usually like, nah, don't play Partey, don't play Tierney. If he's not ready, just keep them on the bench. That's one of the reasons. Let's not forget, because his Instagram was also hacked. Maybe that was one of the reasons back in January. his Instagram was hacked, so maybe his concentration wasn't. I think it was before the Leeds game or something. But the injury for the first few months, the last couple of months, I don't know why he's not been playing, because every time he plays, it's been very good. So I think by now he's seen which player is going to help him win the trophy. So I think he will be playing the next few games.
I mean, both of us should be very disappointed if he doesn't play, if he doesn't start at least for 70 minutes on Thursday, because I think he's a very important player, especially going forward. At times we lack that, that cutting edge in the final third. I think he's a player that can, provide you with that. Martinelli, that player that, he's always going to score if he gets the chance. He's always going to lay it, well, because look at that assist he lays off for pierre-emerick Aubameyang. The accuracy, he just reminds you of Kieran Tierney, and it just shows you how much we miss Kieran Tierney, these days.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But again, David Louis, you talked about David Louis. Louis is back. what a performance. I mean, I've taken long without seeing the Arsenal centre-back partnership so calm, like come under pressure. Of course, there was not so much under pressure under from Newcastle, but I saw a lot of connectivity between the two, Gabriel and David Lowy.
Yeah.
Maybe could it be a point? Could it be a point? For us against Villarreal, Luis coming back with Gabriel.
I was so gutted that he got injured again, because let me tell you, Luis last season he made a lot of mistakes. I think I remember from the top of the head, he gave away a penalty against Liverpool, he gave away a penalty against City, got a red card, he gave away a penalty against Chelsea, got a red card, I think, against Abraham. I think he broke a record for most penalties given away. I think it was like 5 penalties given away in a season, the record. But the truth is, he is our best defender, whether we like it or not. Apart from the wing backs, Tierney and stuff, he is our best defender, whether we like it or not. He's not the best of defenders. He has a mistake in him. Sometimes I feel like the red cards and the fouls and the penalties, sometimes the referees just give it because it's Luis. Or it's Luis who's foul. It's definitely Luis. It's a foul. I mean, because of they know Luis and Saka being dirty players. So anytime, even if it's a yellow card foul, they give him a red card because it's Luis. So I think the passing is very important for us. The long passes, I don't think we have any other defender who can do that. Holding can't. I think Holding did it once earlier this season, but I don't think he can do it consistently. I think for the Tierney goal against West Brom, Holding did a long pass. Pablo May, I've never seen him doing those passes. Gabriel takes the ball very well into midfield. I loved what he did yesterday, taking the ball from the defense, taking it straight to the attack.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love that. But Luis, in terms of passing, heading the ball away, heading from corners, you could see when we have is a threat. 2-3 corners he won in that first half is a threat. And usually we don't win a lot of corners. We've not scored a lot of corners. We concede from a lot of corners these days. So Luis helps in aerial abilities. Not maybe so much in free kicks. He's not that good in free kicks these days, but the leadership, if you want to call it that, is our best defender right now. Maybe I actually feel like that is his last game in an Arsenal shirt, unfortunately, because he's not signed a contract.
You know what, I said it yesterday, that if there is any way we keep him for another year, I would keep him. I've just realized how much he offers at this club, the experience, the leadership, because one of the problems we have is we do not have enough leaders at the club. So he offers so much as an experienced centre back. I would keep him at least for another year as we groom another centre back, because at the moment we don't have anyone to play with Pablo Mari or Gabriel Magalhaes. I would keep him. Would you keep him for another year?
Oh yeah, absolutely, because for me, Chambers has been good the last few games, but there was that list of Mustafi, Kolasinac to be sold, Socrates, and then there's that other list of that people we want to go. For me, Chambers is in that list. If you can get good money for Holding and let him go, if you can get good money for Shaka and let him go. Luis has never really been on that list for me to be sold. I think he's better than any defender we have. I think we have like 4 or 5 poor defenders than him. So for me, he has to stay. And I think he's the only one who provides that leadership. Shaka does provide that leadership, but obviously he ruined it for himself. If you check all the other teams that won trophies back in the days, COSSY, Arsenal, Henry, Vieira, Adams, leadership. If you check United, they had Roy Keane, Gary Neville, leadership. Chelsea, there's a time they had Lampard, Cech, Terry, Ballack, all leaders in the team, and all of them won trophies. So if you can have, you could have the leaders right now to remain in the team and add a few more and have some consistency, then definitely yes. So yeah, I'd keep him. He's not one of the players I would sell. I'd have like another 5 players I would sell.
Exactly. And lastly, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, another one that was coming back from malaria. Of course, he visited Gabon, and that's where he got the malaria. But comes back with a goal. How much were you impressed with his overall performance? Do you think he's fit for Villarreal on Thursday? Because we literally played a false 9. We had never played a false 9. We had only played a false 9 once against Manchester City, and it was Willian. And Mikel gambled in the semi-final and played a false 9. Do you think Abba is fit? How did you see his performance on the weekend?
Oh, yeah. He has to start. I always say it's like since the round of 32 against Benfica, he has to start. Obviously, he's not been putting up great performances this season. I think that is like his 10th Premier League goal of the season. That's not good enough. So yeah, he has to start. That false 9 thing did not work for us. Man City have Mahrez, Foden, people who can cut in, shoot the ball, skill. pace, passing accuracy. De Bruyne, Gundogan can get himself into the box. All those midfielders, Mahrez has like 10 goals this season. De Bruyne has like another 10. Foden has like 10 goals. Gundogan has like 15 goals this season. Our midfielders, how many goals does Willian have? Zero. How many?
You know what's funny is if you combine all our midfielders, you don't get 10 goals. You don't get 10 goals.
You don't get at all.
Yeah. You know, and it's funny, you know, he's playing a false nine. It was so funny, by the way. You know, in the end, I thought Pepe was gonna be striker, but it looked like more of Smith Rowe as the false nine. Then I was like,
even with Pepe striker, like our midfielders and our wingers do not score goals. Like as I said, 0 goals for Willian. Partey has 0 goals, and this is a guy who used to score some goals at Atletico Madrid. El Neni's first ever Premier League goal in like 7 years. Saka, I think he scored like 1 goal this season, like 3 the last 2 seasons. Guendouzi, he never scored a goal for Arsenal. Torreira, 1 goal against Tottenham. Like it's been a problem for the last 10 years. Our midfielders never score goals. If Aubameyang doesn't score, if Lacazette doesn't score, and Saka doesn't score, we're in trouble. That's how it usually is. So playing a false nine doesn't work for us. City can play because all their midfielders score goals. So I definitely want to see Aubameyang. I think in behind he will be a threat. I wish we had Luis for those through passes. Whoever plays with this, Bellerin or Chambers, those through passes, cutting in the ball, you want Aubameyang there. I think the defenders would be more afraid if Aubameyang is there. If Nketiah is there, they wouldn't be afraid. If Willian is playing there, they wouldn't be afraid. So Aubameyang adds more. And then in an important game, remember that's the semi-final last season is the one, not last season, 2019, is the one who took us to the final, literally against Valencia. So I'm hoping for the same. And as I always say, it's not to become a useless striker overnight. So I don't think, yes, definitely last season was better for him than this season, but he's not become useless. And if you're going to go to the semi-final, it's going to be him who takes us, so he has to play.
Yeah, and what do you think about Gabriel? Do you think he's fit again he's also fit for Villarreal? Because he's been a little bit shaky in the past couple of performances, games he's played. He's been a little bit shaky, and I would think otherwise. By the way, before starting him in any game for us. Now, what do you think? You think maybe probably he's back? I mean, he had a very good start to the Premier League, but the Premier League is the Premier League. At times, you're going to get time, need time to fit in, and he has just shown it. But he's still a very great centre back against Everton and Villarreal. The 2 goals we consider, the one we considered against Everton last week. I have Pablo Mari to blame because I know he should be covering for Granit Xhaka in that area. The first goal we considered against Villarreal, yes, Ceballos and Xhaka are to blame, but Pablo Mari again, that is your area. You need to be there. I'm not so much disappointed in Pablo Mari because I've not seen him do so many mistakes this season. But would you just swap him for Gabriel probably?
I really wish you had this. I wish you had this Villarreal game after like 2 weeks. Because we had Newcastle in the league, and then we also had Fulham last week. We have West Brom coming up for experiment. I mean, if you had like 3 games to experiment, because I would like to try Gabriel and Pablo Mari, but you can't try it against Villarreal. That's the trouble. I don't want experiments in a big game. If you had West Brom before that game, I would try Gabriel and Pablo Mari, see how it works. If it doesn't work by halftime, we saw Chambers yesterday against Gabriel. Chambers looked very slow yesterday. You can see definitely at centre back against Alcacer. I don't want him. So I wish you had that West Brom game before Villarreal so that you can experiment. But since we don't, I'd go for... Now, I think Holding has to start because he's the only one on the right. But I don't know. I'm not sure about Holding. But I think we have to go with Holding and go with Gabriel and Holding. I'd actually do that. I know Pablo Mari and Holding do well together, but they haven't really done well together the last 5-6 games they've played. So I rather have Gabriel there and Holding just to try it out. Not try
exactly.
It out. I think they've played together before, but I think that is the better one that we have right now. Remember, we need a clean sheet and we only need 1 goal. So I don't know, I'd actually even be tempted to go with the back 3, because that allows you to play Gabriel, Pablo Mari and Holding. And then it allows you to have 1 left back, 1 right back. Maybe Saka as a left wing back. That allows you 1 more spot again up front. Then you could have Bellerin or Chambers, whoever on the right side. And then you could have Aubameyang, Saka, and an Odegaard or a Smith Rowe front or Martinelli. And then you don't concede a goal. That's what is important. We need a 1-0 win. Even with the back 5, you can get a goal with Aubameyang, Martinelli, Saka on the left wing, and Pepe in the team. So I'd go for Gabriel and Holding for your defensive question.
Okay, thanks everybody for tuning in. Let's just switch over to the Arsenal takeover news coming in, and I think HJ90. Thanks so much, bro. HJ, I think you're off now, but he has told us, he has given me the hint, and Thierry Henry has been speaking about the takeover. Glen, just to feed you in yesterday, the Mail had confirmed that Arsenal is up for sale, and we have been up for sale for the last 2 years. That's according to the Mail. However, today, Thierry Henry has been speaking to, I think the media is called MSN, and he spoke so much about the takeover and his relationship with Daniel Ek. And he said it is true Daniel Ek is an Arsenal fan. He did not say it for any publicity. He has been an Arsenal fan for a very, very long time. And he said he approached us, we listened to him, and we know first and foremost that he wanted to involve the fans. He wants to re-inject the Arsenal DNA, the identity. I think the identity that I think is long gone. They don't have a lot of Arsenal people among the board who can show the right direction, and that's what Daniel wants to do. So briefly, this is Thierry Henry speaking about the takeover. I think this has just come out 7 minutes ago from Football.London, and then coupled with the fact that the club is officially for sale, according to the Mail. There is a financial consortium that approached the Cronkies in 2019. The consortium has not been, we don't know the identity of the consortium, but the Mail claimed that in 2019 there is a consortium that approached the Cronkies, and they said, you know what, we want to buy. We want to buy this club, and the Cronkies said, you need a bid around 1.7 billion if you want to buy this club. Deep in my hand, I feel like the consortium could be probably Dangote and something like that, because he's been speaking so strongly in the past years of how he will buy Arsenal in 2021. So I'm tempted to think maybe Dangote is the guy who approached them in 2019. But first and foremost, let me just ask you. The Mail saying that we are up for sale, and the Cronk is saying they are totally committed to Arsenal and they won't listen to any offers. What do you think about that? What do you make of that?
So I think we don't currently own a lot of businesses ourselves. Maybe in the future, COSSY is going to be a big brand. COSSY is Arsenal's podcast. Maybe in the future, exactly. But I think everyone is always happy or open to new ideas in terms of selling, in terms of bringing up new stuff and all that. I think they're always open. So I probably think he's been lying to us that it's not open or not on up for sale. But in the background, maybe they were like, you know what, if a good offer comes up, we might listen. Not sell, we might listen. I don't think he'll talk to us like that. I don't think he'll tell the fans, oh, I think if a good offer comes up, we will sell. I don't think they'll actually tell us that, because they obviously don't care about us anyway. So I think the Mail could be right on this. I think it's been up for sale maybe for 2-3 years. I don't think they'll just close it down, because what if someone comes with 4 billion, they just can't say we don't sell. It depends on what their plan is for Arsenal. If they just want to make more money from it and 4 billion comes up, they will sell. If they're actually committed to the club and they love the club, they wouldn't sell. That's the one thing I always say, COSSY. So I don't care whether Kroenke gives us 500 million this summer to buy players. That's not the only thing I want. I want you to care. That is what disturbs me. I want you to care. Yes, you might give 500 million. You don't care what happens. He doesn't know which position Arsenal is. He doesn't know Arsenal is doing the FA Cup. I want the owner to care. I want the owner to know, you know what? Yes, I gave away 200 million, but which players did we buy? How did Aguero do in his previous season? How did Bissouma do? Do you think you'd know all that? No. So I want an owner who will care about the club. You don't have to be a fan, but at least be a fan of football. Kroenke is not a fan of football. I want someone who's a fan of football, someone who would want to know what is going on. So even if he gives us 500 million, yes, it will help us buy players, but he wouldn't even know who we buy. So for me, I think the Mail could be right that the club is up for sale. Not for us to know, but in the background, they could be doing some deals maybe. And then all of a sudden, you might hear Arsenal is sold without us being able to know what went on.
Yeah, and first and foremost, I think the range, if you look at the range, because the Athletic had said that it would take something very astronomical to buy Arsenal or to persuade the Kroenkes into selling. Do you think the 1.8 billion bid from Ek is, you know, I don't want to say astronomical, but because, you know, I mean, financially, as a person, I think a billion shillings is just astronomical, you know, to my level. But do you think it would persuade the Cronkies at least to think about it? 1.8 billion bid that Ek is preparing.
No, I think anything less than 2.5 billion won't be of interest to them, because it's not like they need money. It's not like they are poor and they actually need money. They have a lot of franchises. So for them, they probably look at it as, do we get the 1.8 billion right now, and how much can we make from the next 2 years? Is it also 1.8 billion from the income and stuff? Then they wouldn't have a need to sell. But if it's something that they wouldn't be able to deny, to like reject something like 2.5 billion, they would agree. But 1.8 billion, I'm afraid they wouldn't take up, unless it's just that's for the whole club. Unless they're selling like only 70% of the club, I think he would be interested to still have like at least 20 or 30% shares. That's what I think. I think he'll still be interested not to sell the club totally. So maybe that's for maybe a 1 billion or something for 70% of the club, and then he remains with the other 30%. Maybe that's how we look at it. But how I wish he'd sell, man. I just need new owners in this club. It doesn't care about the club, doesn't care about how we are doing. So for me, I don't think it will interest him. Maybe 2.5 billion, something like that. But it would interest him if he's selling like 70% of the club and is remaining with the other party.
Yeah, I mean, 1.8 billion is big money, and you know, it's probably it's a bid to try to test Cronkies. The Cronkies, how strong are they committed to, you know, to this kind of project? Probably because I think, you know, you could have a 1.8 billion bid rejected, then you come back with a 1.95 or a 2 billion bid. But according to Forbes, we are valued at around 2.1 billion. So I think 2.2 or 2.3 billion should do, should do the job, right? But there's also something interesting, and you know, this is it. I don't want to sound controversial. I'm an Arsenal fan, and that's why I'm putting on this jersey on this show. So think about this scenario, Glen. We are not in the Champions League for the last 4 years. We are not going to qualify for the Champions League if we don't win the Europa League this season. In the last 2 seasons, we have finished 8th, and probably this season we shall finish 9th or 10th, you know, according to how the odds will go. It looks like the Cronkies, and of course we have had COVID, we have not had fans in the stadiums, we have not had fans buying tickets. It looks like the Cronkies are making lesser and lesser money. You know, for the past 4 years, you know, the Cronkies are making lesser and lesser money. You drop out of Champions League, you drop into the Europa League for around 3-4 seasons. Now you're dropping out of the Europa League as well. Do you think that could be probably a reason to force them into, you know, selling? You know, looking at the club as a sinking, you know, Titanic. Literally, if we do not get Europa League this season and Champions League, there have been no fans in the stadiums. We have taken a government loan. It looks like we are not in the best financial situation. However, we have so many priorities in the summer, which means that they have to get into, you know, the hand in their pockets to spend. Otherwise, if they do not spend, we are even going to become, you know, worse next season, and we might actually make, you know, lesser money still. So, what do you think?
It would be maybe if the fans were away for like 2 years, let's say, but the fans are coming back. I think they're actually coming back before the end of the season. I think the last 2 games or something of the season, so they'll still get the money either way. And I don't think fans not coming to the stadium impacts these people. I think they still have these deals with Emirates. I think they have these deals with the shirt sponsor and stuff. So the money is always coming in, whether we buy the shirts or not. So I don't think it actually does affect them that much. But obviously, if it was like something for 1 year, 2 years, obviously the ticket money is taking maybe 1%, 2% away from their pockets. Yes, us not qualifying for the Champions League and the Europa League next season will be huge again. But that has to be like in a consistent terms, like maybe 2 years, 3 years, and then it really affects your pockets. But I don't actually think it impacts them that much. I actually don't, because I don't think it impacts them that much, because the shirt sponsors are still in and all that.
Yeah. Of course, the shirt sponsors. You have Fly Emirates. You have Adidas also giving them a lot of money.
Deals,
But the deals are there. But remember, I need to look at these conditions because there must be conditions said that if you do not qualify for European football, we shall give you this money less of what we would give you if you go for European football. And I think that is the reason as to why they were fighting so hard to go to the European Super League, because the more the club is represented at a European level, the more money they make. And for me, this is absolutely mad. Why Kroenke doesn't want to invest in Arsenal? The more we do better, the more we go into Champions League, the more we climb the ladder higher in Europe, the more he makes money. The more we climb the ladder higher in the Premier League, the more he makes money. I don't know why he doesn't want to invest in the club. I just don't get it. It's like he has an opportunity to make money, but he just won't use it. So I'm gonna ask you this question. It's very controversial, so make sure you're ready because people are watching. Would you rather Arsenal not win the Europa League, not go to the Champions League if it would force Kroenke to sell, or would you rather us win the Europa League, go into the Champions League, for the glory of the team, even if it meant Kroenke staying?
I want my club to do well. I want us to go to the Champions League because I don't think whether we go in or we don't go, I don't think it will impact Kroenke. I don't trust him. Whether we qualify for the Champions League right now, I can't guarantee you that he's going to give us money to buy players. We might go to the Champions League right now and he still doesn't give out the money. I don't think whether even if we don't qualify for the Champions League, he might give away the money still. So I don't trust him and I want my club to do well. I don't want my club to fail. And then expect something that we're not even sure is going to happen because we have no guarantee 100% that this is going to happen when you don't qualify for the Champions League. So I want my club to do well. I want us to qualify for the Champions League. It's not just Kroenke in this situation, remember. I want the fan base to be happy. I want the players to be happy. I want the manager to be happy. I want the staff to be happy. It's not about the owner alone. So I don't want the whole club to suffer because of one person. So yeah.
So and that's my position. I think team-wise, the players are putting a lot. The fans are putting a lot. Imagine how many shows we've done against for the Villarreal game. The tension, the panic we are on, for this Villarreal game. I would trust me. I would want us to win the Europa League, and the management, the business comes in later. But Kroenke said one of the points he made is we are committed to this club. We are not going to sell it, and we are going to invest in this club to take it back to the levels where we are today. There are reports circulated that Arsenal is so confident that they're about to finish the signature of Yavis Bissouma. We shall talk about that in a minute. Do you see Kroenke and KSE trying to bring back the hearts of the fans using the transfer window? Probably.
Again, these guys are such liars. If you put them in front of that lie detector that people do, like in the program Moment of Truth, like it fail every question. He's such a liar. Like I don't think he actually cares about the club. I actually think before interviews and such fun forums, I actually think they sit down and they actually practice how to answer every question. They actually sit down with someone and they're like, if you're asked this, say this. I don't think they actually know what they're saying from. I'm telling you, if you ask him which position Arsenal are right now, he wouldn't even tell you. Because they've not probably seen the game from yesterday and stuff. So for me, I don't think anything will change. Just ask that question again, so I know how to shape it up.
I ask the question again.
Yeah, just ask it again.
So I asked, do you think the Kroenkes will try to bring back the hearts of the fans using the transfer window? Of course, I've seen a Grealish. Yeah, I've seen a Grealish link somewhere. So, do you think they could give us an unprecedented summer, like Mikel says?
I don't think they will. For me personally, they won't, because as I just told you, even if they spend 500 million, I want a club owner that cares. They will just be spending that 500 million to win the hearts back and just buy us with money. That's what they'll be doing. So I don't want that. I want a club owner that cares about the club. Yes, we might be okay with it. If we don't win the Europa League, we might be okay with it for a couple of months. Yes, next season we're gonna have Bissouma, we're gonna have Mbappe in the team. Yes, we'll be happy. But in the future, still in the next few months and 2 seasons, we'll feel the effects still having Kroenke. Exactly. I don't think he'll win the hearts back, even if he spends how much money.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I actually thought about. That he would, he can invest 100 million in this summer, try to tie a handkerchief over your eyes, and then in the next years you cry even harder than you've been crying. But
Yeah.
let's talk about, I think, Daniel Ek as a person. Do you think he will fulfill his promise of the 1.8 billion bid? Do you think we shall see the bid? Because according to Sky, it should come in the next around 10 days.
I think he will. I hope he does, because if it was a strategy for his company, that would be so damaging, because I'd hate him forever. But I think he will. I think I trust Henry, Vieira, and Beckham, whatever they're saying, because they want the best for the club. They're Arsenal fans. So I'm hoping it's the truth. I think he will fulfill it. I think he has the money on the side, as he said. He's ready to offer. So I think he will do it. But the problem is, as I said, for a deal to take place, there has to be a willing buyer and a willing seller. We have a willing buyer, but not a willing seller. So it's going to be interesting to see how, if Kroenke changes his mind in the next 10 days, it will be interesting. So I think he will fulfill it. I think he will buy the club. I will put the offer up.
Yeah, and I think Thierry Henry in his interview, I hope you look at it. It's on football.london. Yeah. Yeah. He says that he's trying to bring back the Arsenal DNA, that Arsenal identity that is lacking in the board. First and foremost, he wants to bring back club legends. Then he also wants fan representation on the board as well. Then he is a fan as well. Do you think if fans are involved, then probably the club could have better running, especially in the interest of the fans? Or do you think it should be more of the legends involved than us, the fans? Because I don't know whether we know how the club should run anyway.
Yeah, I actually don't think we do. I actually think I would really like, because none of us, if you're given the chance to run a club right now, we wouldn't. Maybe the difference will be we're Arsenal fans, that's it. And we'll make some decisions emotionally because we're Arsenal fans.
We'll buy Mbappe.
We'll buy Mbappe, we'll buy shirts, we'll add red and stuff. We'll just do whatever that is needed. Oh yeah, I had COSSY saying this in his podcast. Let's try and do this. So I think we'll run it emotionally. So, but I think having like a few percent, like the good thing with this having like shares and stuff is that you get different opinions. Yes, it could affect in terms of transfer policy. If you want Mbappe and I want Haaland, yes, it can affect. But you get an opinion from an owner who knows the business side of the deal. You get an opinion from the former players who've played for the club before. They know what the club is about, the shirt, the badge, and you get an opinion from the fans, a couple of fans who know what the fans are thinking. So you get different perspectives from every single avenue. That would help. So that's because I'm sure Kroenke doesn't know some things about when the fans know. I know us, we don't know some things that Kroenke would know better than us. I'm sure we don't know some things Beckham would know better than us. Beckham doesn't know what you're thinking right now about on the fans and stuff. So I think getting everyone having shares, it would be a benefit for the club. I think Beckham and Henry and Vieira are the perfect players to be on there. So yeah, for me, I definitely prefer the shares. I think the fans would help. I think everyone contributing would be a blessing for us. Not that Kroenke will be contributing, no, we'll have someone else contributing in terms of ownership, but not him. So yeah.
So I want to confirm to everybody on this show, these are the words of Thierry Henry. He said that the takeover is going to be long and not easy, and Daniel will not move away. He will be there waiting to see if they want to sell. That's going to take a very long time. We know what we want to do. First and foremost, we need to make sure that we take over. If they are listening, Daniel is an honest, transparent man. Fans want to know what might happen at their club. I think they are prepared. And Daniel Ek said this last week, that I think he thinks it's gonna be very long. It's gonna be very long, very tough, and probably it's going to take months and months and months and months. So if you think about it, would you be okay if he took over after the summer? Because for me, I would want him to take over before the summer so that we start from there. But probably by December, if they were to sell, to eventually give in and sell, probably would it happen by December or on November?
I think these deals take a lot of time to be done.
Yeah, it's true.
I think you have to the lawyer's part. You have to do the cases and stuff, and to have everything done. You have to have the agents done, everything done. So I don't think it can be that quick. I don't think he'll buy Arsenal by June. So I think December could be kind of, I'd even say January maybe is the earliest we can see a takeover from him. So I don't, all these things will take time. We don't make, are you hearing the kind of money we are dealing with, COSSY? Billions of pounds.
Billion pounds, exactly.
I don't even think we'll ever see that kind of money, man. Billions of pounds.
We will, bro. We will. You know, the first thing we need to do is look at the billion in our currencies.
I'll definitely buy Arsenal. If I have that kind of money now, I'll be the one bidding for Arsenal. I'll definitely love to own Arsenal. So I think the earliest is like January because of everything that has to go into that, like the stakes and the everything, the shares, the plans and everything. So he might even want to buy and Kroenke accepts to sell. And then maybe they don't agree in terms of the plans and stuff, and then it doesn't work out. So I think the earliest is like January.
I mean, you know, just a little thing on the takeover as we go away to Bissouma and Bellerin. You know, what do you think Dangote is doing? I thought this would have been the perfect time for Dangote to table his offer. Of course, we have had the rumors that he could, there could be talks between Dangote and Kroenke in the summer after the season, the end of the season. We have had those rumors. None of them is confirmed, but why do you think Dangote is not actually coming in at this point in time to try to make the world know that probably I also want to take over the club? Do you think he's doing it privately or something like that? Or it was a hoax?
I think he has other business ventures as of now. I think he was just saying it to put it out there, but I actually think he has different... did he say he's an Arsenal fan? Has he ever said he's an Arsenal fan? Because I think he has different business ventures as of now. Maybe in 2017, 2016, 2018, he really wanted to buy the club, but after that long wait, maybe he's changed his mind. Maybe he could come back. Maybe he's still working on different ventures. Maybe they're doing it on the background. Again, something we can never know. Like there are like 4 or 5 different scenarios that could be going on right now. But I would really want to sit down with those board members and the owners just to feel like how they usually think and how they usually conduct everything. So I think it's very difficult to guess what Dangote is doing. He could be bidding for the club to right now as well, but didn't make it public like Daniel. Or he could be done with Arsenal. Maybe he wants to buy another club, maybe a cheaper club. Maybe he wants to go for like a West Brom or a Bolton or something. You never know. Anything could be taking place right now.
Yeah, I mean, anyway, guys, there's so much going on around Arsenal and the takeover. We'll keep you posted around, with everything that goes on. I'll try to break down the Thierry Henry, video. I'll try to break it down for you guys in around 5 seconds. 5 minutes, and then upload, on a separate basis so that you can actually understand what he talked about. But there is this talk about Bissouma, Bissouma Glen. It's been alive for now, I think the past 48 hours. I first saw it, and then I decided to ignore it. Then it came back on Sunday, and I've also seen it today, very, very alive, that Arsenal are leading the race to sign Yavis Bissouma from Brighton for £30 million. How? First and foremost, of course, it's the Daily Mail. I can't say it's Romano or it's Chris Whitley or Charles Watt. So it's 50-50. It could be true. It could be just for clicks. But do you think Arsenal would win that? Win the Bissouma race? Do you think we would win it without Europa League football, without anything? Probably.
We would win it if the likes of Man City don't want him. If Man City wants him, forget about it. If United wants him, forget about it. Because if you're competing against the likes of Aston Villa, Everton, and Brighton, I think he would prefer coming to Arsenal. And it's not that he's coming from a similar team. Like Brighton almost got relegated this season. I think it would be easy if Brighton got relegated. It would be easier for us to get him because then they would have to sell players quickly for the money in the championship and everything. So I think he would be a good buy. I think obviously all these companies and all these newspapers use it for clicks sometimes. Maybe it's not official yet. One thing we know, we have to get a midfielder this season. Another thing we know, some players will definitely leave, people like ceballos, so we'll have a few gaps. Odegaard might not sign, so we know we'll have a few gaps in the middle. Another thing we know is that he would want to leave Brighton because he'd want to go to a bigger team. because Brighton, they've been fighting for relegation. I think the last 3 seasons they've escaped the last 3 seasons. So he'd want a new adventure, maybe live in London and stuff. Come back to the bigger team. So whether we're in the Europa League or no Champions League or no Europa League, Champions League, doesn't matter because Brighton has never been in any of those competitions. So I think he'll be more interested to see what Arsenal do than maybe an Everton or his own Brighton. So I think there's some truth in it. Maybe the money, you'll never know about it. Maybe the 30 million is just a figure they put out there. I actually think 30 million is kind of how he'd be sold. That's the number. I heard you say 50 million, 40 million. I think that's too much for. I think 50 million for Bissouma is actually too much. I actually think it's too much for him.
The reason as to why I was thinking about 50 million, first and foremost, he's had a very tremendous season at Brighton. I don't think they're going to get relegated. They would love to keep their players. That's the second thing. The other thing is, is the fact that he still has 2 years on his contract, and they bought him at around 18 million. So I thought, with the current, situation in the market, Glenn, 50 million has become the price floor. I mean, literally 50 million. If you're going to buy a bad player, it's 30 million. If you're going to buy an average player, the price floor is 50 million. So with the quality he has shown us this season, I thought it would be around 50 million. I think I was trying to prove how good he was, using the price tag. But 30 million, I think, is a deal we should do, Glenn. As soon as possible. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah. I was trying to check something. So I was trying to check how much he gets per week at Brighton. 23,000 pounds. Jesus Christ. He will definitely not get that at Arsenal. Now, that's the other reason why he'd want to leave Brighton for Arsenal, COSSY. Because I know this 23,000, the way Arsenal do their business, I'm really hoping we don't do this again. We'll offer him 100,000 per week. Maybe even 120,000 a week. Maybe even 5 times what he's getting at Brighton. So that will interest him. I don't think in terms of salary they can compete with the likes of Arsenal and Everton. So if he's interested in money, he might come to Arsenal or an Everton or something. If he's just interested in playing time, again, he could come to Arsenal because we're definitely going to give him play time. At Everton, I'm not sure because they have the likes of Doucouré. But at Brighton, we're not sure what their plans are. So if it's for the money, he'll definitely come. 50 million, yes, he's had a good season. I don't think it's a 50 million kind of season. That there's also, okay, maybe, I think he picked up a silly red card against Newcastle, I remember. I know he asked you, Ali, can he shoot on target? That's not part of his strength. He does have some good shots with him, but I don't think the shooting is part of his strength. He definitely covers the midfield very well. Him and Partey, as I said, can allow Partey to go forward because Partey, I think Partey scored like 5 goals last season for Atletico. He has 0 for Arsenal. Yes, he's had the chances to shoot the ball, but he's never really had a clear-cut chance, for example, in the box or something. So I think having Bissouma going forward, Partey staying, Partey going forward, Bissouma staying, confuse the midfielders, confuse the defenders a bit, have a different style of play. Because Arsenal, we know what Arsenal is going to do. We know we're going to pass the ball to Chambers, he's going to cross the ball, no one is going to win it. We know Martinelli is going to cut in, we know Tierney is going to take on the defenders. There's never really different ideas with our style of play. Back in the day, not even that far back, 2016, we had different kinds of play. We'd put in a cross for Giroud, he could score. We could use the Walcott to Chamberlain pace in behind, pass the ball in behind if Fabregas is there with the passes and stuff for Walcott. We could use the wingers, the wing backs and stuff, different styles of play. Could score from corners, from penalties, from corners. Right now we don't have, and I think one of the reasons is the midfield. We have no goals from midfield. I think he'll add the energy there. He'll add the discipline there because the players who've been playing, they don't know about their positions. You'd see Ceballos going back. I remember you told me when he played Villarreal, the reason why Ceballos goes to the left side. He doesn't know how to play in the midfield. So we need someone who knows how to play that position 100%, not someone who prefers to play on the left side, someone who has discipline in that position. So if you have 2 of them, well and good.
Yeah, exactly. And talking about that, Ceballos, Fabrizio also says that Ceballos will be leaving the club. Going back to Real Madrid, the decision was taken weeks ago, actually. I mean, if he was a good player, we would have retained him. But I think how do you see Ceballos in the next 5 years? Do you think he's going to be a success in Spain? Because him as a player, he said he would rather play in Spain than the Premier League. Many people attacked him because they think that's because he has a weak mentality. I think a player can decide where they want to play football. Like Torreira said, I want to go back home. I don't want to play in Europe. I want to go back home. But What's wrong with Ceballos? Do you see him as a success in Spain? Do you think it's the league that has that has failed him? Do you think he would be a better player in Spain probably if he went to the likes of Valencia, Villarreal, Sevilla, those kind of those kinds of teams?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like again, different tempo in Spain. I mean, even against Newcastle yesterday, I saw him having a couple of good touches. You're like, wow. I don't think we have many players in the Premier League who can do this. Like that touch right, left, and then he goes. So not many people can do that. But all those flicks and tricks, if there's no end product, I don't think people want to see that. It's very funny how things change. Like last season, at a time like this, May, June last year, I was like, we have to sign Ceballos. We have no midfielders. El Neni obviously hadn't come back. We had Saka planning to go and stuff. We didn't have Partey at that time, so I was crying to sign Ceballos. This season, though, it has not worked for him. We've seen more of the negatives than positives. We start against Benfica. We almost went out because of him. He doesn't know how to play that position. That's why he was trying to pass the ball back to Leno without even knowing what is around him.
Yeah, exactly.
They're giving away of the free kicks. It's not because he's just wants to foul someone. It's because he's slow in that position. So trying to recover, he's fouled someone. That's another weakness. Against Villarreal the other day, we saw he cannot push back. The way Foyth just ran through our midfield, Ceballos was struggling to catch up. The silly yellow cards, the always spinning and stuff, taking too much time on the ball. Yes, he has some good passes, some good through passes. I don't think anyone at Arsenal can give apart from him. But you need at least 80% of the package. Right now, I think he only has like 30%, and the other 70% is lacking. The 30%, it can work for you in Spain. You can survive in Spain because I don't think you need the strength in Spain a lot. I don't think you need the heading ability in Spain a lot. As long as you have a good few tactics and a few strengths in skill and all that, you could do well. The one place we'll know whether he's doing good or not is the Euro squad. Do I think he'll be in the Euro squad for Spain? I don't think so, and that will hurt him. So in the next 4 years, I think Spain has a lot of talent. So you need to be careful in terms of playing in Spain and playing for Spain. So the next 4 years, he could do well in Real Sociedad, Real Zaragoza, such kind of teams, but probably not in England.
This Thursday, in the last bit of the podcast, and I want to thank everybody who has been with us until this point. It's almost an hour. Thanks everybody. Hit the like button, people. Subscribe. Thanks so much for 20,000 subscribers. I've not thanked you on this show. Thank you so much. But Glen, this week we have a season saver. We officially confirmed that our season is over. Arsenal up against Villarreal at the Emirates Stadium, where you do not have confidence that Arsenal will win a game, however much we are at home. I think we have been so poor at home this season. I've not seen Arsenal this poor at home. We have been so poor, losing games, losing points. I mean, it's a mess. It's a mess at home. We have drawn with Fulham at home. We have lost to Everton at home. In the last 2 games we played at home, we do not have a win.
We lost to Olympiacos as well in the Europa League.
Exactly, we lost to Olympiacos as well. In the in the Europa League. I don't know what's so wrong with the mentality at the Emirates Stadium. But first and foremost, are you hopeful? Do you still have the hope as an Arsenal fan that we will go through as Gunners?
I think we have to. I don't think Villarreal is that good of a team. I watched them again the other day yesterday against Getafe. They won 1-0. But they aren't that good of a team. They're not that great. We gave them a chance to score against us in the first opening 5 minutes and then conceded from a corner. There's no time that I saw Villarreal really creating a chance and cutting us open. Yes, there was one when Leno saved us. But I didn't really feel like, wow, Villarreal are going to get a third or a fourth goal. Even when we went down to 10 men, they never really dominated us like the way you'd expect City to put 5 past you. So one reason I want us to win, we have to get to the final. We cannot go out in the semi-final again. Like, we have to get in the final. Maybe we could have a couple of excuses if we lose in the final. Maybe not. Maybe people will still want him out. But at least get to the final. That's a one-off game, and then try your best in the final. Number 2, I think if Villarreal go to the final, United will smash them up 5-0. So we're also giving United a trophy. Third of all, we have better players coming back. I think I saw a comment in the chat saying Saka's rested, he's back. We have a choice between Gabriel and Pablo Mari. Aubameyang is now back. Martinelli is now playing at his best. Mitro is back. Odegaard is back. So we have basically almost the full team. We could decide to pick from Bellerin, from Chambers, from Cedric. We could have Sergio at left back. We could have anyone. We could have Saka at left back. He has a lot of choices. It's not like obviously we don't have probably two of our top 5 best players in Lacazette and Tierney, but I think you can do without them for this game. I don't think Villarreal is that great of a team. And we also need just a 1-0 victory. It's not like we need a 3-0 or a 4-0. Usually,
Exactly. And you know what hurts me, Glenn, by the way, you've talked about it, is when we lost to Everton, they didn't have a good performance. They struggled. When we lost to Villarreal, they did have this massive performance. It's like the reason we lost is that we were very poor. You understand?
Yeah.
We were so poor. It's not that they were very good. It's that we were very poor. And I think it happened with Slavia Praha in the first leg. We did everything. We failed to score. They got a chance. You know, they got a lifeline back in the game. You know, that is my a corner, and they got a lifeline. So that's my problem. When are we going to stop being very, very poor? When are we going to stop gifting wins and points away because we're just not good enough, but we're even too poor? You know, if we are going to go against Villarreal, I think we just need to elevate the quality. Just surprise them with that elevation in quality. I think that's all it's gonna take. They can concede in the first 20 minutes. You could have 2 goals and they are crumbling.
From the first minute as well. We need a performance from the first minute. Remember, if we score in the first 5 minutes and it's 1-0 and you're going through in the first 5 minutes, they have to look for a goal. We can get a second, and then even if they get a goal, we know it's extra time, because the moment it starts getting to the 70th minute being 0-0, Arsenal are not that good under pressure. That's when we start making mistakes. Although Arsenal, whichever time, anyone can make mistakes. You know, the thing that always worries me with Arsenal, it's not one player that makes mistakes. Leno has made a mistake. Cedric has made a mistake. Gabriel, Luis, Bellerin, Saka, like every single player has made a mistake. So as long as we need to do 3 things very well, we need to have a quick start in this game like we did against Newcastle and Slavia Prague. Try and get a goal in the first 10 minutes, surprise them from the first 10 minutes. You're at home, try and get a goal in the first 10 minutes. They started against us very quickly in their place. Do the same against them here. Number 2, we need to take our chances, because we can't be missing chances. Benfica in the round of 32, we almost went out because Aubameyang missed chances. Against Olympiacos, because we missed chances, we almost went out. We have to take our chances. Burnley away from home, we didn't win that game because we didn't take our chances. Everton, whichever chance we created, we didn't score. We need to take our chances. Number 3, we need to stop making these mistakes. If you don't have to play from the back and you're leading 1-0, just clear the ball. Don't take any risk. If you're leading, just clear the ball. Try and get a second goal. Just don't give them a goal. Make them work for it. Try and defend from set pieces. I think that's where Luis would have been very important, the corners, because as I said, we considered a corner against Slavia Prague in the last minute. The other day we considered a corner again against Villarreal, so we need to watch out for that as well. Don't make stupid mistakes behind. Take your chances. Even if you get 2 shots on target, score them, you're through. So those are the 3 things we need to do, and a quick start.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, you know what, Glenn, however much they have an advantage, they'll be on more pressure than we are, because the moment we score, they're looking at it as an end. So I think I don't expect many people are saying Villarreal is gonna come back and come and sit back. I don't see that happen. I think Unai Emery is the guy that's gonna open the floor for the dancers and the musicians. Whoever wants will take the day. The best will take the day. So I expect a lot from a lot of open play from Villarreal, and I think we just need to sit back and get them by mistake. Get those mistakes, because they always open apart. That's the truth. Unai Emery teams, they open apart. We've seen it when we were playing Chelsea. They almost killed us in the final under Unai Emery, and he's always opening. I think we should do away with the pressure. Get a big sack, tie the pressure there, and give it to Villarreal, because I think they'll have more pressure. If you score against them in the first 10 minutes, you score a second goal in the next first 40 minutes, Arsenal 2-0, they'll be like, we are going out. Let us put everything up. And I think they can even concede 4. But my problem is with Mikel trying to make his tactics very complicated. That's the problem. Playing a false 9 and now playing an 8 that is now a number 6. Those things, I think we should play our game like we did against Newcastle. play your game, and then we shall get the results. Trust me.
No excuses this time. We have Pepe, who's been on form, scoring goals. He's the top scorer in the Europa League. He has the most contributions in the Europa League. We have Aubameyang, who is back now. Martinelli is there. Saka is there. So many different people. We need goals. We need a goal, just one. And I hope we can get two in the first half, not in the second half. I don't want 0-0 at halftime, because with Arsenal, it's very possible this game ends in a 0-0. And then we go out just like that. So I'm hoping not.
Yeah, exactly. Galactic Flower says, what do you think of Pepe? I think there is something I've seen about Pepe today on Twitter, and I think it was the absolute truth. He is not a 75 million player, but he is a good player. He is a talented guy that is having the weight of 75 million pounds. The moment he can take that away, it was not his fault that Arsenal bought him at 75 million pounds or 72, wherever. I think I think he's a fantastic player. I think he is the quality of Arsenal. I think if you ask me, does he fit at Arsenal? Yeah, I think he does. If you look at the players we have around, his finishing is okay. I think he's also, he's going forward is okay as well. And just look at what he has done in the Europa League this season. I think he will be a key player for us in that game, because I think the zeal and the consistency he has had in the Europa League, he can use that to help us go through. What do you think, Glenn? Do you think maybe, because for me, I feel like Pepe is about to reach his maximum as a player, but eventually I'm seeing it. That is Pepe. We shouldn't be looking out for a Pepe who is Mbappe. No, he is Pepe, and we need to take him as Pepe.
I remember when we played Leeds last year, and then he got a red card. I was almost giving up on him, because I was like, no, this is very disappointing. Like, in a big game like this, 0-0, you're trying to get a goal, you're getting a red card. But this year, 2021, that is the Pepe I want to see. I got the improvement I wanted to see from him. He scored a lot of goals this year. Like, the performance he put on away at Leicester, him and Willian that day, they were very good away at Leicester. Away at Burnley, well, you almost won when you got a penalty, and then it was removed as always. Pepe was very great in that second half. Against, there's another game, all the Europa League games, as you've said, the Slavia Prague one, even after conceding the goal, and even after being denied the goal by VAR, we still went again. Pepe scored a goal, starting very fast. He can play on the left, he can play on the right.
Yeah, against Wolves as well.
Against Wolves away from home,
it's a goal. Against very Sheffield United Sheffield United in the first leg. Again, that was a very good goal. Against Southampton. I think we need to see him in the prism, in the angle of Nicolas Pepe, the Arsenal player, not Nicolas Pepe, the 75 million player. I think that is, we need to see him the way he is as a player. Take away the pressure from him, he's going to deliver.
I want to see the decisive Pepe, not the Pepe who will get to the wing and be like, oh, should I cross? Should I dribble a bit? No. Make the decisions quickly. This is a big game. And then you never know, if you do well in this game and in the final, people change their mind about you all of a sudden. Because even Ceballos last season, he drifted away in the middle of the season, did well in the last 4 games, and we wanted to sign him. Maybe for Pepe as well. Don't look at the price at all. Just do your thing, because I think all of us want him to start. That's how good he's been doing. Otherwise, I would just have told you Martinelli on the left, Saka on the right, but I want Pepe to start.
Exactly. And I think one of the things he has worked on this season, his finishing has always been okay. Ever since he came from Glen, his finishing has been okay. So I don't want to say he's worked on his finishing. But one of is the decision making. The goal he scored against Slavia Praha, I think it was Slavia Praha in the 4-0 win. That goal, I think his decision making has changed so much, and also the fact that he has now gone away from the right wing, where he plays more of an inverted, to the left wing, where I think he's playing like more of a straightforward player, facing goal. I think that has also helped him so much, this season.
Confidence as well. He's confident.
Yeah, confidence as well. Yeah, confidence as well. He's become a little bit more confident.
I see when we win free kicks and penalties. Even I think the last 5 weeks we've been given like 5 penalties, and 3 of them have been taken away. But you always see him going for the ball. He wants to take it. Confidence. Otherwise, it would have been like, nah, I've not scored a goal this, don't let someone else take it. But yeah, the confidence is in wanting to pick up the ball, scoring. He never misses penalties, all that. So I'm hoping he delivers in this game. We need him a lot.
Let's try to look at some. If what Glen is saying about the owners of Arsenal is true, that is, they don't care about the club. My question is, what is the performance of them? What is the importance of them holding the club at ransom? This is crazy. I think they are getting a lot of money. That's the answer, Glen. They need to have the club because they are getting a lot of money. I think that's the answer, the easy one.
That's the simple answer, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Pepe isn't reliable, so would suggest play Saka, Martinelli, and Alba as centre forward. Surely, comrades, we need the game more. Thanks so much, Kers Daniel. I know, it will take a lot of time, Glen, for Pepe to prove to many fans that now he's become that reliable player. I think it will take time.
Yeah, for sure. But at least the more you improve, the more I like it, because I told you last year I was giving up on him after that Leeds game, but he picked himself up this year in the away games. He's doing very well. He did well on the right side as well, even against Leicester and Burnley. On the left side, he's doing well. He's scoring goals. He's giving assists when needed to. He's a threat. He's a threat on the pitch. Like, defenders would fear him. The right back wouldn't want to go forward knowing Pepe was there. So I think he's done well. I think if you're rating from 2021, I think he's in our top 3 players for 2021.
Exactly. Dali says Pepe, Laka, Martinelli, Tierney, they have to start for the game on Thursday. It must be a 2-0 win. I hope it becomes a 2-0 win. I just be home. It becomes a 2-0 win.
I think we'll concede, because I think if you're going to win, you're going to win 3-1. I think we'll need 3 goals to win.
Yeah, you're right. Update on the squad facing Europa League. The Europa. I think we have 2 injury worries. It's David Louis and Martinelli. Not so, Glen. Any other worries?
No, I think okay. Lacazette, I've seen the Lacazette comment from Daniel about from McDonald. Sorry, Lacazette and Tierney now. Lacazette and Tierney not being on the bench for Newcastle. That shows they won't be playing this one. Otherwise, they'd have at least been on the bench, come on for the last 10 minutes, and then be ready for this one. I don't think they'll just be right back and starting against Villarreal in a semi-final. So maybe we'll see one of them on the bench, but I don't think any of them will start. But Lacazette probably on the bench, but not start. Pepe will start. Martinelli will start. I hope he'll start. And then also, I think sometimes he looks at it having bench power. He also don't want to play everyone. I don't think you'd want to start Martinelli, Saka, Aubameyang, Pepe, Odegaard, and then you don't have anyone on the bench. I think also having a couple of players on the bench, the likes of Smith Rowe coming on, that would be great. So I think the one you've mentioned, I think Luis is out. I think Tierney won't be available, and then maybe Lacazette will be on the bench. Ceballos is definitely out.
Yeah, exactly. Reports suggested that Donnarumma is set for a move to Juventus. I don't know why, but this is not for me. For me, this is not a surprise, Glen. I expected Donnarumma. I want Donnarumma at Arsenal. I would see him as an upgrade and a future goalkeeping assurance for Arsenal. But I'm not surprised that Juventus are going in for Donnarumma. I think they're just like Bayern. They'll get the best players in the league. Not so.
He was saying that because I understand Szczesny to come back to Arsenal. Oh, please, no. Szczesny to come back to Arsenal now. Listen, I don't think Glen is a disaster of a goalkeeper. He has a couple of mistakes in him. I can tell you this season, Alisson has made 6 mistakes at Liverpool. I can tell you Pickford and De Gea always make mistakes. So he just needs to cut out the mistakes. If you need to kick the ball, kick it. Don't pass the ball. I think he's a good goalkeeper. I don't think he's... We've had Fabianski. We've had Fabianski being terrible. We've had Lehmann at his terrible years. We've had Almunia. Man, this is a good goalkeeper we have. He's not like anywhere close to the likes of Almunia.
Arsenal is going to win the final and will win the Europa League Cup this year if Arteta does the needful in his team selection. I still have issues with Mikel Arteta's team selection, but probably let us hope he will actually change. Update on the squad of Venice, we've looked at that as well. Most of the players are back. Gabriel, David Louis, Tierney is back. Saka masterclass, Aubameyang, amazing game against Newcastle. I hate United fans. This is the Liverpool hub. Of course, I know Liverpool and United. You guys, 10K fans in the last round has 100%. We are winning the games in Anfield. I think the cancellation of the game, by the way, Glen, I think that was so good from the fans. I don't want to say so good, but that was so majestic from the fans. They have had the Manchester United fans. They have had their say heard.
Yeah. If you're getting a game postponed, you're definitely doing something right. The problem is the few number of fans who are there for different reasons. I saw someone throwing someone else's camera. You don't need to do that.
Yeah,
They've not done anything to you, so the vandalizing I don't agree with. Okay, now listen, I don't want Arsenal to do that on Thursday. I don't want us to go into the field because
exactly.
UEFA can tell us you're out of this competition. I don't want that. So you know, rather just keep it for the West Brom game, not the or you just stay away from the stadium because UEFA not the Premier League. They'll tell us you're kicked out of this competition because your fans are entering the stadium. So United are not stupid. They would have done it against Roma. They didn't. They've done it in the Premier League game, the one that is going to be watched by most people. So I think it's good for them. I think it's good because definitely people have seen. I'm sure none of us searched for it. We saw it somewhere. So we've seen it from the news. So I'm sure it will help them a lot. And maybe they'll not sell either way anyway, but it will have an effect. People will ask questions.
Yoye says, I prefer Saka on the left, up front Martinelli, Abba, and Pepe. We are gonna win for sure. I know you people want to use the quality Arsenal has at the moment, and I have no problem with it. I have no problem with it. Go Arsenal to the final and win the cup, as this our last hope for the Champions League spot. I asked you a very big question, people, on the last preview we made, that is Arsenal ready for the Champions League, and everybody told me no, you don't think we are ready. Leno does mistake, but he is one of the world class. I think he's a good goalkeeper. There are no questions about that. Leno is a very, very good goalkeeper. Very, very good. Glen, where do they find you? And any last words as we close down the show, bro?
Yeah, Glen Kitely, Everything Arsenal. If you just search for Everything Arsenal, you'll find it on YouTube. I think you've put it on the title or something. So yeah, I'll be doing a show with COSSY on Wednesday, previewing the game on Thursday, and I'll be here every single Monday. And yeah, always good interacting with the other fans just like us. So thank you for having me.
Exactly. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks everybody. Hit the like button before you log off. Make sure you've clicked the like button. That really means a lot. We shall do it next Monday, but on Wednesday, same time. It should be 7 p.m. 7 p.m. Wednesday. I'll be at Glen's channel. The link is in the title, so make sure you click Glen's channel. Head over there, and we are going to be there on Thursday. We shall talk about the Villarreal game, the takeover, and answer all your questions. So make sure you're on. We love you so much, and bye bye for now. As always, come on, you Gunners.